mow you down, what have you done to stop them? You have to defend your country. And if you die in the process, you're a martyr and you go straight to heaven. Right? You know, if someone's going to come, if I had a daughter and someone's going to come rape my daughter, and I was in the room and they're holding me back, I have two choices. I can let them rape her, or I can fight with my fingernails and every ounce of strength I have to prevent that from happening. And so the choice that you have to make, you have two choices. Do something or do nothing about this problem. And to do nothing is a sin of omission, and it's a cowardly thing, and God's going to get rid of you. You have to rise up. You know, I didn't ask for war. I didn't invent it. But now that they, the enemies of God, have picked this fight and have plans to kill you, you have to rise up and defend yourself. Do some push-ups. Get prepared so that you can stop them from imposing a satanic rule upon God's people. You owe it to God, and you owe it to the children and the future generations. All the veterans have given their lives all through a couple centuries here in America at least, and now it's your turn to fight for heaven. The Eternal Father created you to defeat his enemy, Lucifer. And the forces of 666 have set up camp in our country, and they now control the country. Rockefeller owns the country. Way back to 1920, he owns all the medias, you know, and it's a stranglehold. He should forgive the debt and knock it off and call it even, and God wouldn't wipe us out. But they serve the devil, they answer to the devil, they don't have a choice. And if the devil gets his hand on that button, on that diabolical button, that technological button, nuclear weapons, things are going to start being annihilated in seconds. That's what Our Lady of Fatima said. And the only way to stop it now, it's impossible humanly. All things are possible with God. The only way to stop it now is if you will cancel Disneyland, knock off whatever you're involved in, all your little crafts and things and distractions of the world, and begin a life of prayer and penance every moment and a constant vigil of prayer. And I mean every second. Every second you're alive, you can send up one prayer to heaven. Each Hail Mary, each Glory Be, each Our Father, each kind thing you do, all your sacrifices and fasting adds up in the bank, and it'll make a difference in America. You can't stop what's coming, but at this point we can try to damage control, try to diminish the amount of souls that will fall into hell. You know, St. James says, snatching them out of the fire at the last second. It's up to you. And you can't say, well, I'm going to let my neighbor do it, I'm not going to do it. God's going to hold you accountable. Much is given, much is expected. God gave you everything. He put you in free America. You're alive. You're healthy. You have a means. You can go to Kmart. You can get ammunition. You can get rosaries and brown wool to make scapulars. You can stock up on fuel so you don't have to take a microchip. I was painting for a guy's house, and he said he was delivering some lighting systems to Walmart, and that the guy already had the microchip. He worked for Intel. He was setting up the store. So the microchip's already out. And I've talked to other people that have told me the same thing. They've seen the microchip. They're giving it to babies in Indiana. Switzerland already has millions of them. The military have them. It's coming your way. If you take it, you're going to go to hell. The Bible says so. Read chapter 14 of the Apocalypse. Never take a microchip in your hand. Ever. Ever. So stock up now. Get prepared. Forewarned is forearmed. Get prepared. Get smart. Pretend you're going camping. Gather all the things you like. Q-tips, toilet paper, insect repellent, mosquito netting, sleeping bags, LP gas, water, peanut butter, non-perishable food items, you know, all the vegetables and things, canned foods. Go to all these, stock up, stockpile it, and hide it, because the government will confiscate it from you. Find a little spot where you can hide your things and as a supply depot, and keep it there. And these are things you can do. Band-aids, medical supplies, blessed candles, holy water, blankets, lots of drinking water, a way to get water from a pump without electricity. Put a pump in the ground somewhere, buy an acre of land somewhere. Quit your job, get out of city, pull your children out of school because it's satanic, and have them pray all day and teach them things. If you don't believe it's end times, then continue to teach your children and prepare them for a future. If I had children, they would all be praying all the time, and I'd have games and things and picnics, but I'd have them pray as much as they could as children. to kick in, like Jacinta and Francisco. Blessed Mother showed the pattern. They didn't even drink their water. All day they were tending their sheep as little children, 5, 7, 9 years old. They didn't even drink their water in the heat of Portugal. And they would take, their mom would send them a little bit of a lunch, a sandwich or an apple, and they would give that away to the poor as a sacrifice to help the Holy Father and the poor souls for the love of Jesus and in reparation to the sorrowful Immaculate Heart of Mary for the conversion of Russia. These are what you should be doing, making sacrifices. Everybody chip in. If you're in a boat and we're oaring upstream, if you stop oaring, you're going to drift backwards. And if somebody doesn't oar, help chip in, or if you got a leak in the boat and it's filling up, if you don't bail water, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Everybody has to pull their weight. Everybody has to pull their weight. We're all equal in this. We're all brothers and sisters. If you put a roof over the house, if you put a roof over the world, everybody's your brother and sister. And I got fat sisters, and I got ugly brothers, and I got my own faults too. But we're all brothers and sisters, children of God. And no matter what mistakes we've made in the past, let's start today to have a new life, and let's serve Jesus Christ. And then we can go to heaven. And if you die for Christ, you go straight to heaven. And Jesus said, whoever disowns me in front of men, I will disown him in front of my Father. Right? But whoever confesses Jesus Christ, then Jesus, if you say, yes, I am a Christian, and yes, I am a Catholic, and you shouldn't be killing people, and I'll pray for you, and they kill you, that's a martyr, right? You go straight to heaven. Thank you very much. So be fearless. You don't want to stay here in an antichrist system. Stand up for Christ. Don't put a target on your chest and be stupid. God needs you here to fight. Be smart. Build an underground. Loose lips sink ships. Don't talk on the telephone. They're listening to your telephone. They're listening through your computer. Unplug your computer. Unplug your telephone. What the hell? What do you need it for anyway? You should get smart, make a plan, listen, pray to God, ask Jesus to guide you. Lord, what should I be doing here? Ask the Blessed Virgin Mary to help you. She's the director. And, more like this. But I want to get back to the Bayside messages. Come on, pray for me. In case you want to look at some of the statistics, look at this here. You got your ballistic missiles, your atomic submarines, we should put a little light on here. They've got us. The Soviets got us 10 to 1, 20 to 1, 5 to 1, in every single one, right? See that? And these are government statistics. You have the Shrine Beacon here. There's some problems, but there's an address. W5703 Shrine Road, Necedah, Wisconsin, 54646-7916. They include articles, maybe some of the messages, some of the things that are going on in the world. It's a little newsletter. Here's a publication known as the Michael, and that comes out of Canada, Rougemont, Quebec, Canada. And I was hoping there'd be an address here. And so if you want to get the Michael, I'll come back on that. I don't know if those phone numbers will help you. You can stop the video later and copy it down. This is the information this is the guy you want to help if you want to help anybody besides Bayside. Fatima Crusader, right? And that's Father Gruner, and he has a smaller version now because he needs money. And here's some addresses. You can stop the video later and copy them down if you already don't know him. 17000 State Route 30, Constable, New York, 12926. Servants of Jesus and Mary. 10 books. You can get St. Alphonsus de Liguori's works, Victories of the Martyrs. You should read what the martyrs went through, and then you might have the strength to die for Christ yourself. You need to prepare for death. Here's a picture of Veronica Lueken, the seer at Bayside. And I'm going to read to you a couple of messages. Events leading up to the Great Warning, because the warning, by the time you see this, it might have already happened, but it was prophesied 20, 30 years ago. Revolution has come to South Africa, Western Europe, Italy, and then the whole world. We'll now cover tomorrow's news today. October 5th, 1985, Veronica's describing a vision. These are Bayside messages, and I'm just reading them to save time. There will also be great warfare in Africa, famine and warfare, droughts. That's happening already. With wars included, allowed to come upon you so that you may understand and learn the hard way that there is a God. One who could stop the massacre. One who could stop the massacres. One who could stop all the suffering upon earth. Test. Here's a picture of Veronica Lueken. Remember the seer at Bayside? I'm going to read some of the Bayside prophecies. This is events leading up to the Great Warning. The warning may have already happened by the time you see this. It was prophesied 20, 30 years ago. I found out in 1988. I've been trying to tell people. This message, I'm going to read these Bayside messages, save time, right? October 85 message. I see Africa, there great warfare in Africa, famine and warfare, droughts, with wars included, allowed to come upon you so that you may understand and learn the hard way that there is a God. One who could stop the massacres, one who could stop all the suffering upon earth. However, it is a test for all mankind, for by this test many shall be cleansed. March 18th, she saw in vision a cross, the center of the Iron Cross. There's a ball and a hammer and a sickle, sign of communism and slavery. Now the hammer and sickle is floating, and it's going down by Africa. I see people fighting. I see nuns running and priests running. I see mothers with children running. They're both black and white. They're running. I see now flags over buildings, a menacing-looking blood-red flag. July 1st, 85, I see a ball. It's a globe of the world like we have in school. And I see the first place to burst into flames is Africa. The United States and the industrialized world buy all our metals from Africa, and that's why the communists won it. Veronica describes in vision in 1984. I see Europe, Western Europe. Something's going on there. It has not started, my child, but there will be great confusion and war shall break out in the western part of Germany. June of 74. Looks like people are fighting. It's a terrible war. It's a terrible war. Much blood, and I see a stream of blood, and it's going across the waters, and it looks like Italy and France.